gentlemen, may I please have your attention? Please have your tickets in hand before you board the plane. Thank you.
Hello and welcome. I'm Johan Castell and you're watching Wings. On the show today, how India is becoming the fourth largest source of tourist spending. The plans to make lighthouses in India a new thing to explore around the country. How Olympics tourism affects host countries. And the latest from Scandinavia. Let's begin. Many people love a colorful lighthouse on the coastline. If permission is granted to visit, it can even be a tourist attraction. The Indian government now plans to make this possible through a new strategy.
A speck of light glimmering against a deep, dark sky. The world's most bustling ports have boasted a lighthouse for centuries, guiding boats and businesses to its shores. In recent times, lighthouses have become potential tourist attractions. They provide panoramic views of scenic locations and are historic structures with intriguing stories. Many countries are taking initiatives to boost what is being termed lighthouse tourism, and India is one of them. Under its Maritime India Vision 2030, the government aims to transform its lighthouses into vibrant travel destinations. With an investment of over $71 million, the goal is to develop around 78 to 80 lighthouses across states like Goa, Maharashtra, Karnataka, Kerala, Puducherry and Lakshadweep. Over 500,000 visitors were recorded between April and June this year. The idea is to bring in more visitors by repurposing existing facilities and creating heritage and maritime museums. Additionally, setting up entertainment zones, restaurants and possibly hotels to accommodate travelers will increase footfall too. So, what are some of the lighthouse spots you can visit along India's vast shoreline? Let's take a look. Enjoy the panoramic view of Kerala's shores and a musical fountain at the Viringam Lighthouse. Did you know that WION Lighthouse began its journey in 1839 at Fort Kochi? Revamped over the years, it offers captivating views of the Puduvai beach. The Ratnagiri Lighthouse stands on the scenic Ratnagiri Fort's south bastion, offering a panoramic view of the Arabian Sea. The cast iron lighthouse tower, which dates back to 1969, is situated at the northern tip of the Nicobar Island. It is a must-visit site. The Kapu Lighthouse is over a century old, dating back to 1901. With a truly one-of-a-kind landscape, you can't miss a tour of this scintillating spot.
The visa rules for Indian travelers have recently been relaxed for many popular destinations. The new, looser visa rules fuel a tourism boom that is set to see India become a top source of tourist spending by 2030.
After a long hiatus, post-pandemic travel is steadily booming across the world. And Indian travelers are set to become one of the top spenders on international travel. According to a new report by Booking.com and McKinsey, Indians could be the fourth largest global travel spenders by 2030. According to reports, Indian travelers are expected to embark on 5 billion more trips by that year. Approximately 1% of Indians' total trips last year were outbound. This figure will come to about 50 million international trips out of the total 5 billion. Their spending on travel and tourism is predicted to hit $410 billion by 2030. That's a surge of more than 170% from $150 billion in 2019. The latest figures for June indicate that the United Arab Emirates and Singapore are among the top destinations for Indian tourists. Gaining travel entry into countries is also becoming easier for Indians. In April, the European Union relaxed entry restrictions for Indians, allowing multiple entry and long-term visas for those who have made at least 2 previous trips to the region. The UAE also has begun issuing Indians multiple entry visas. Japan has enabled the use of simplified e-visa process for Indian flyers. The reasons behind the predicted trend are numerous, including a potential increase in India's spending per capita in improving India's transportation sector. More than $200 billion has been spent on improving facilities in the last decade, and the number of airports in the country has doubled since 2014. Indian airlines have also been expanding their fleets and placing orders for aircraft to cater to the travel-friendly Indian who increasingly wants to explore all horizons.
The Olympics are fast approaching, and Paris will be the host city for 2024. Next up, we look at how the mega event affects the host country's tourism sector.
The much-awaited Paris 2024 Olympic Games are set to start on July 26. However, the international visitors numbers and the expected travel boom in the city are painting a dismal picture. Several factors, such as spiraling travel and accommodation costs, political turmoil, and security concerns, are discouraging many sports fans and visitors from booking their tickets. As per reports, round-trip airfares to Paris are creeping up to around $1,300 for the weekend before the Olympics. That is up from an average of $1,000 last summer. Even entry fees to popular spots in the city, such as the Louvre Museum, are being hiked. Starting January 15th, the entrance fee to the Louvre was raised to about $24. This was done to control the flow of visitors at the museum. Next comes accommodation problems, with sky-high prices. According to the Paris Tourist Office, average hotel prices between July 26th and August 11th surged by 70% to €342 a night from last year. With 4-star hotels charging around €1,000 a night, even rich travelers are making lesser bookings.
Avec les JO, il y a une demande qui a explosé sur les plateformes pour.
With the Olympics, there's been an explosion in demand on the platforms to check the availability of properties, and the prices themselves have exploded. They've become extremely high, but we're going to monitor and we're going to penalize wherever necessary.
On va contrôler, qu'on va sanctionner, qu'on va pas laisser faire n'importe comment, n'importe quoi.
Data from Paris-based consultancy MKG shows hotel reservations have dropped since last year for the weeks ahead of the Olympics, along with a 25% revenue decline for much of June. For those who can afford the costly trip, security concerns are holding them back. France is on its highest security alert as the games approach, after the snap elections recently. Paris has also been under the grip of regular strikes and protests, including criticism for the 2024 Olympic Games.
Ces renforts internationaux sont des policiers.
The international reinforcements will be providing security, patrolling the area on foot at the various tourist sites and also on public transport. They will also be watchful of a certain number of individuals and teams who might potentially disrupt peace and order.
Mais également pour dissuader un certain nombre d'individus, un certain nombre d'équipes.
The Paris Olympics 2024 budget has already increased by 15% to $12.7 billion compared to initial estimates. Hosting international sporting events is a big challenge for major cities. They are already crowded and costly and scaring off more price-conscious consumers. But some hope is pinned on the final weeks before the Games begin. Travel agencies expect a last-minute rush for tickets and accommodation due to potential discounts.
Next up, an oil wrestling event draws a crowd of eager spectators.
Sweat, oil and leather trousers. This is Turkiye's 600-year-old oil wrestling championship, called the Kirkpinar. The 3-day festival was held in Edirne city in the northwest of the country. The 663rd edition featured men competing in leather pants known as kispet. Drenched in olive oil, the athletes engage in gripping and slipping battles to win the title.
Kirkpinar is a historical tradition for us. It's the sport of our ancestors, the first Turkish wrestling games. There's mat wrestling in the Olympics, but our Olympics is Kirkpinar.
The grassy arena becomes the stage for a slippery spectacle of strength and agility. The goal is to either pin the opponents back to the ground or lift them off the ground completely. Matches can last up to 40 minutes and demand not only physical power but also strategic moves and endurance.
Ama tabii küçük adamlar seri olmak zorunda. Daha kondisyonlu.
I think weight is key. Smaller men have to be faster, they have to be more informed.
Tabii onlar için daha
Being big and gaining good weight by having more muscles gives you an edge, and a little bit of fitness is of course important.
yani güzel böyle kiloyu doldurarak almak ve biraz da kondisyon önemli.
Kirkpinar is not just a competition but also a celebration of Turkish heritage dating back to the 14th century. It holds the Guinness Book of Records title for the longest consecutively held sporting event in the world. In 2010, the festival was also added to the UNESCO's representative list of the intangible cultural heritage of humanity. The vibrant energy, rich history, and exhilarating matches make the festival truly one of a kind.
Scandinavia is blessed with fantastic weather and incredible scenery. As more tourists head to this cool European escape, let's explore some of the best spots.
We have all heard about staycations, but have you heard about coolcations? This is a new trend for those traveling to Scandinavian countries like Norway and Sweden. A growing number of tourists are escaping the southern European heat and opting for cooler holidays. From fjords or U-shaped valleys to lakes to mountainous terrains, travelers can explore many options in pristine wilderness.
To escape from the heat, basically, and because Norway caught our attention a long time ago for its green landscapes, the mountains, the ice.
It just does not interest me now to sit on a sunbed, read a book, get up, go and have something to eat, come back to a sunbed. I'd rather visit places, find the history, and just look at beautiful places and have somebody take me there.
It's not really a revolution, but it's quite nice when a trend comes along that actually fits you like a glove. So I love the trend because of that, and since we have so many lakes, you also have Allemansrätten, which makes sure that you can go out in the forest and actually glamping or just walk around and take a dip in a water out somewhere in the forest where you're totally by yourself. You have been able to do that for many years, but now it's getting to be a trend and people are searching for it a little bit more, so why not work with it?
Now let's explore the ancient allure of Denmark's Viking legacy, Trelleborg Fortress. Listed as a World Heritage Site by UNESCO in 2023, the Danish Viking Fortress is evolving as a major tourist attraction. The fortress recognition last year sparked a surge in tourist interest, with visitors flocking to explore its well-preserved ruins and immerse themselves in Denmark's Viking legacy.
There's a lot of round fortresses around the world, but there's none like the 5 that has been discovered in Denmark, which are completely symmetrical, as you can see there. So they are unique in that sense. It's important also, we have actually worked with this for 14 years to do the application, which is 400 pages. and it's important to show visitors that this is a unique place, just like in the same category as pyramids and the Chinese wall.
Here is a trivia from the past. Famed Viking monarch Harald Bluetooth built Trelleborg as a symmetrical ringed fortress for his warriors and as a sign of his power. King Bluetooth, after whom the Bluetooth wireless technology is named, is credited with having converted the loosely demarcated Scandinavian kingdom to Christianity in the late 10th century. And that brings us to our next stop, the Jelling Viking site, which is also seeing a growing number of tourists lately. These are Denmark's prized historical monuments. The two Jelling stones, Harald's runestone and the Gorm's runestone, mention the name of Denmark as a unified nation. These monumental runestones, inscribed in the 10th century, commemorate King Harald Bluetooth's conquest of Norway and his pivotal role in Denmark's Christianization. These stones not only serve as historical markers but also captivate visitors with their intricate carvings and profound cultural significance.
Next, we bring you the latest stories from around the world for those looking for the best experiences. We call this our news deck. Take a look.
Beneath the towering Christ the Redeemer in Brazil's Rio de Janeiro, a striking jaguar sculpture is getting painted. Created by Brazilian Amazon artist P.V. Dias, this vibrant artwork is part of the city's Jaguar Parade, an initiative to support conservation efforts.
It's very important to think about the conservation in Brazil. There are many animals and many species that are threatened or have already become extinct. I believe that in the Amazon in particular, it's time to look at it with a little more care, with a little more attention.
More than 60 big cat sculptures were installed at various tourist spots like Sugarloaf Mountain and Arpoador Beach. They will later be showcased at Casa Brasil in Paris during the Olympics starting the 26th of July. At the end of the exhibition, the sculptures will be auctioned and funds will be redistributed to conservation projects.
Large swathes of the Atacama, the driest non-polar desert on Earth, have been covered with purple and white flowers. Thanks to the unusual rainfall in northern Chile. This rare desert bloom usually occurs in the southern springtime, but this year it's appearing in winter for the first time since 2015. Experts credit the bloom to April's rainfall and intense low cloud cover, which have helped activate the plants.
It feels really emotional because this is a unique phenomenon in the world. It is really exciting that this beauty and this goodness of nature touches the soul.
Covering several hundred square kilometers with vibrant flowers, it's a rare winter bloom. In 2015, a similar sight occurred after unusual rainfall and persistent low clouds.
Last week on Wings, we showed how Rath Yatra was celebrated across India. Now let's tell you about the Bahuda Rath Yatra, the return car festival from Gondija Temple to Jagannath Temple in Puri. This marks the culmination of a 9-day journey for Lord Jagannath, Goddess Subhadra, and Lord Balabhadra. Celebrating the return of their beloved gods, devotees pulled the 3 grand chariots carrying deities back to the Jagannath Temple.
An artificial beach in the heart of the Italian capital. Welcome to Tiberis. Located on the banks of the historic river Tiber, Tiberis is a new summer retreat for Romans and tourists alike. Offering free sunbeds, umbrellas, and a variety of recreational activities, this initiative provides a vacation experience for those who cannot afford to leave Rome. A staycation of a different kind.
Tiberis sono circa 2 ettari di terreno che in realtà
Tiberis is an area of about 2 hectares, a beach for Romans, essentially a summer park that allows those who cannot go on vacation to enjoy the water and the sun. with access to refreshment services as well as cultural activities, yoga, sports activities and evening concerts.
Dallo yoga, quindi attività anche sportive, fino a concerti serali.
With fountains to cool off in, yoga classes and evening concerts, Tbilisi is a testament to the city's efforts to create accessible leisure spaces. Interestingly, Tbilisi is a part of a larger project to develop waterfront parks along the Tiber.
That's all we have for you on the show in this week's episode, but we'll return next weekend. Until then, it's me, Johan Castell, signing off. Goodbye.